I'm Old Head Ed.
And I'm Mr. Beleaf. And we like to welcome y'all to Barcodes. Barcodes is a podcast where we delve into the lyrics of your favorite MCs, verse by verse.
Each episode, we invite an artist onto the show,
break down their own bars, and give the listeners a deeper understanding of the meaning and inspiration behind their music.
From underground up-and-comers to established industry veterans.
We cover it all. So join us as we explore the art of MCing and the stories behind the bars on Barcodes.
Hey, yo, it's Barcodes.
Barcodes in the building,
Yes,
y'all.
sir. I am Old Head Ed.
Mr. Beleaf on this side.
Give ourselves some applause on
There
this
you go.
side.
Get a little round of applause.
Yeah, man, for us, for what we got going on. And for y'all, no, hold on. And for y'all,
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, hell yeah. And doing all the podcast responsibilities of, sharing, liking, comment, subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you know exactly when these episodes drop. Yeah, man, this is a podcast where we have an esteemed guest, an esteemed MC sit down and break down the lyrics, kind of go line for line from a verse of their choosing. And as they walk us through what it took to construct a verse, we'll just share ideas back and forth. We'll kick around what our takeaways from the verse are. We might even get some like insight that nobody's aware of.
Yep.
We get sometimes we get some exclusive stuff too.
And sometimes the conversation just takes us all over the place. You know
This
what I'm
is
saying?
true.
And that, as rightfully so. You know what I mean?
It's happened. Yo, once again, thank y'all for tuning in. Beleaf, who do we got in the spot this
Yo,
evening?
we got $NE Ness in the building, y'all.
Yes.
Peace.
Hey, man, thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I had the pleasure of meeting you sometime a while ago, maybe 6-7 months ago. Mutual friend connected at his spot. They invited us over for an event at the crib, and we got to chop it up a little bit.
Sir.
And then I seen you moving about the scene in South Florida, so I was like, okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm glad we were able to put this thing together. And we're gonna get into something right off the latest project. A piece of bread, or the price for bread.
The price of
price
bread.
for bread.
The
Yes.
price of bread.
You got
Oh
items.
yeah.
You got items, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
We got the
Got you
vinyl.
in.
Got the vinyl.
There you go.
No signage, just straight art. We got basically it's my head, but it's resembling Africa because I'll get into the science of that whole thing. But yeah.
But they could cop the vinyls.
Yeah, vinyls. Systemdon'twork.com. We got them on thesystemdon'twork.com. Yeah.
One place. Just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
there and
Go
you'll
there.
figure it all out.
You'll see it all there.
True that. So what track, what verse off of what track is we getting into?
The lead single for this joint was called Stripper Money.
Okay.
It's a joint featuring Conway the Machine from
Okay.
Griselda Drum Work,
Word.
fame, that whole family. But it's just a joint. It's like when I got the beat. So my producer, Baby J, he's in the UK.
Okay. Shouts to Baby J.
Shout out to Baby J. Worked with him for many years. And we did a project during the pandemic called 21st Century Blues. First project we had done in a while. And this was the follow-up. This album, The Price of Bread, was the follow-up. And this was the first beat that he sent me that I was just like, yeah, I gotta write to this one. It's just dirty. It sound like the city. You know what I mean? It sound like that grime. It sound like that cold.
Yeah, man.
So-
A lot of the times the beats dictate that, once you hear that beat and it has that feeling, you know where to go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know where to maneuver with it.
It's like scores to a film. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like some rappers, I know they probably hear a beat and they think of how they gonna dance on it and all that. I'm more of a like storyteller, scene setter, like the be in it. So I approach music or raps with like a filmmaker or like a visual.
A visual,
Like
yes.
visual.
That's
So
what
like
I
visual
this
in
is
mind.
this is what's going on when you hear this music right here. Like this is where I'm
taking
at.
you.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Dope. Excellent. I guess we could give them the questions. Hit 'em with the questions.
Basically, where were you? Like your mindset was when you got that beat, like, and when you heard that beat, like, where were you? And when you decided to write it,
So I think so I'm originally from Philly, lived in Brooklyn for mad years, and a few years ago I came down to Miami, and I think I was at the crib. You know what I mean? Like I got a set up at my spot where I record a lot of shit at. And like I was just zoning, you know what I mean? Probably burning one, just, in the zone, trying to come up, you know what I mean? Just get in that space. And yeah, that's where I was at. physically, emotionally, you know, just where my head was at. During that time, like it was just a lot of shit going on in my life. You know what I mean? A lot of real things. So it's a weird thing. I want to say I was not in a dark space, like I was, you know what I mean, about to off myself or nothing like that, but just a general thing. Like my older brother had just passed away. I was dealing with just certain things or whatever. And even though it I was still in that type of headspace, the beat brought joy. So it's kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? So yeah.
That's amazing, man, because it's like you can find yourself in spots where you're carrying a weight, and then even though a beat that kind of creates this vibe within you, even if it's a dark beat, it can bring you some type of joy. Yeah. And then once you're done writing, I imagine it's kind of like we mentioned a lot of times on the podcast where Beleaf is like, yo, once you finish writing, it's like there's a weight come off of you.
Like it's just like it's gone. As soon as you lay it down too, and then you hear it when you get that playback, and you listen to it, and you're like, okay, now I feel better about this. You know what I'm saying? At least that's how it feels when I do it.
I think MCs, you know, rap, like a lot of times it gets relegated to some like lower art form, like, oh, niggas, you know, niggas just out here spitting some shit. But there's so much value to be able to hear what you're going through. If you're really writing some shit, like and no disrespect to nobody, just wants to rap to escape, you know what I mean? Because that might be a real space for you. You just might want to escape from something. But if you're really going in, like, it's therapy. And a lot of rappers say that, like, oh, it's therapy, but for real, like, you know what I mean? Like, you might be wanting to murk something or hurt something or do something, and then, like you said, you jotting it down, you coming up with the thing, and then when it's out, it's almost like journaling. You see what you're thinking, and you came up with some beautiful art. So,
Facts. Well, let's get into this art. First verse off of Stripper Money. Whenever you're ready, 4 bars.
All right, so it's a scene. Like this joint is just a straight, you know what I mean, scene where I went. You know what I mean. Like I said, I was just going there with it, but it's 3 types of camo, late night at the bando, nigga strapped like a sandal, rubber grip on the handle, nigga glizzy, all safety, got shorty, think I'm paro, got a chip on my shoulder, but baby, I got a plan, no.
Okay. All right.
Right, so it's just like, with that, I'm, picture, you know what I mean, let's just say it's my past life, you know what I mean? I'm at the bando, you know what I mean? So it's just like 3 types of camo. I like camouflage, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm probably wearing a camo hat, camo jacket, camo pants, all of them got different patterns, you know what I mean? Yeah. So 3 types of camo, late night at the bando, niggas strapped like a sandal, rubber grip on the handle. So it's just kind of like, you see the paranoia, you see the, like, you know what I mean, protective, you know what I mean? Like, you protecting your space, you know, you're protecting your square, you know, your spot, whatever. Late night, 3 types of camo, late night at the bando, nigga strapped like a sandal, rubber grip on the handle, nigga glizzy, all safety, got shorty, think I'm paro. Cause, you know what I mean? If, you know, your shorty like, all right, this nigga, you know what I mean? I don't know what's up. Like, what's
going on?
What's going on? Like, the joint off safety, is everything cool? And be like, I got a chip on my shoulder, but baby, I got a plan though. Like, I might have this anger, you know what I mean? As black men, as black and brown men, you know what I mean? The stereotype is that we angry. But it's just like, yeah, that anger, it might be part of my experience because I'm going through all the systemic shit that's, you know, piling up on us. But I got a plan. I'm trying, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not just you know, just lost in the sauce.
It's not anger for no reason, you know what I'm saying? You're directing it.
Exactly.
You know? And you have a course of where you know, a path where you see that you're gonna
exactly,
quote unquote, the plan that he has.
The plan.
You know, it's interesting because here we are. Like, you've set the tone as far as, like, before we even got into the verse about, like, take a second and put yourself in the situation as listeners, us as listeners.
Right.
And it's funny because it's like, you know, got shorty thinking I'm paranoid, and I could see where it's like, if someone sees you in that state of mind, it's like, yo, should I prepare for something?
Exactly.
Yo, she's like, hold up.
Wait up. Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And shout
out of the purse, you know what I'm saying?
And shout out to all the sisters, you know, that got partners, that got, you know, men that's, you know, caught up in a certain life. You know what I mean? A lot of times, you know, they get relegated to like sidekick or like, you know, the love interest or whatever. But if we treating this like a film, and, you know, this real life, but if we treating this like a film, it's like, it's a little nuance. She's like, she's concerned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, she might be like, you know what I mean? What I'm dealing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And she might have had the equivalent of the experiences that you have, because now she's able to pick up on that and say, all right, do I have to get ready too?
Exactly.
Or she's probably seen that before in a
That's what I'm
prior
saying.
relationship,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she
that's what I'm saying.
understands. She
Yeah.
understands the little cues. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Or she watched Power or some
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
There you go.
She like, wait.
Or she be listening, watching a lot of movies. You know
Somebody
what I'm
saw Belly like, yo, this is what Keisha was dealing with. You know what I mean?
That too.
Yeah,
you
man.
you decided to go glizzy there. Glizzy has become. It's. I'm sure, but by the time when you wrote this, and by the it's like.
Yo, that's crazy you said that. Because like I was gonna stop and say, I ain't talking about a hot dog.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like I peeped that shit. I was just like, I be on social media. I was like, what Glizzy mean now?
Oh, yeah.
Like, where did y'all go left with that? Glizzy
Yeah,
always been the Glock. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that should be they be like changing words and meanings of words. You gotta like
Correct.
keep up and shit. It be like
Yeah.
it's weird, man.
Yo, language evolves,
Yeah.
But now, when I say Glizzy, I ain't talking about no hot dog.
The Glock.
Strapped like a sandal, Glizzy, all safety, got, that whole shit. You know what I mean?
Damn. Also, before we go any further, and I'm digging this. It as me as a listener, it leaves me at a place where you're like, but baby, I got a plan though, and I'm a type of person that I watch films and I try to dissect them. I like the whodunits. I like the that thriller, the suspense type shit, and trying to figure out what's going on before it goes on.
Right.
And keeping that in mind when you're breaking down this verse, I find myself thinking like, okay, he's got a plan though. Is that gonna? And I don't want you to spoil it, but I'm like, is the plan to eventually get out of that situation where he doesn't have to be in the bando strap, like so on and so forth?
Yeah,
So,
he sets the tone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
this
fuck
had
with that.
one thing that I gotta say about the opening of this verse is like it's very very much visual, like you stated earlier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you start off with the late night at the bando, so like all of us, you already got the where you're at. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Niggas strapped with the stand. We're seeing what's going on already. The description of that situation already.
Right.
And then you also set that tone where you're stating you have a plan. Your girl's looking at you like you tripping or whatnot.
Right.
Dope, man. Dope. Hands off to you, man.
Respect. And I would say with like I came up under listening to Nas.
Yeah.
Listening to Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? Listening to certain cats that were scene setting. You know what I mean? Like I used to shit on rap that was just like, you just rapping the rap. Like, no disrespect to nobody. Like, my crew, I came up, I'm part of RBG family, came up under Dead Prez. I was in a group called A-Likes for many years. And, like, our whole thing was, like, mobilizing the people, talking truth to power, and, like, really coming with a certain thing. So a lot of, like, flowery language used to be, like, I used to look down on it. I used to be like, I don't even got metaphors, nigga. I say what I say. This is what's going on. There ain't no I'm like, or whatever.
Yeah.
But as evolving as an MC, you start respecting just different things and all that. So I say all that to say, as much as like, I'm scene setting, I'm also allowing space to be like, I'm a throw certain energy in there, certain words in there to like, bring you in, you know what I mean? And still a little bit where it's definitely could be first person, my life, but it also could mean more people's lives.
people, yeah.
Like other cats in this shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, doing this show, we've seen a wide variety of styles,
Techniques,
and techniques, and everything like that, and it's pretty like eye opening when you get to see, at least from me as an artist's perspective, is like where you see all these people artists have different mindsets and different reasons for making their music.
Right.
Like even some artists that it helped me appreciate artists that I didn't understand at first. You know what I'm saying? Where I'll listen to something and I'll be like, man, like automatically, I mean, that's just trash.
Right.
But then when we sit down and you talk to these people, you know what I'm saying, we see what the intricacies and shit like that. It's like, damn, man, you know what? I didn't see that. I didn't see you actually have some thought in doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of just throwing words on paper. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that does this shit in the
Salute.
man.
And art is art. Art is personal, man. Like, we all opinionated, especially MCs, you know what I mean? We got our taste, so we like this, what we like.
Yeah.
But I realized, just as an evolving MC, veteran in the game, like, art is a relationship. You know what I mean? This thing that we do as MCs, a thing of ours, like it's a relationship between you and the beat, you and what you're going through, you and the audience, if you will. Some cats is like, I don't care what the audience think, but that's the thing. It's also like where you at. Like when people used to say keep it real, like escapist rap, all this, whatever. We can name 1,000 people that people don't consider real rap, but escape is part of somebody might be like, I don't want to talk about how I'm going, I'm in the bando strap. Like I might just want to talk about having fun or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I leave people's work like, that's your work, that's where you at with it. There's just my journey and how I came to this, these bars or whatever.
What I've always viewed artistry in general is a coping mechanism of whatever's going on through your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it like you said, some people might not want to, go deep into their personal life or what they're going through. So they'll cope doing it a different way and, doing like, the just stuff that probably we wouldn't be like, think that is like dope.
Right.
Yeah.
Or intricate, you know what I'm saying? So
Respect.
Get to the next 4 then.
But baby, I got a plano, got this quap on the table, trying to turn it to a plate. So we going from the plan though, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, got a chip on my shoulder, but baby, I got a plano, got this quap on the table, trying to turn it to a plate. From a plate to a plate, stash the profit in the safe. Baby need a food truck, daddy needs some real estate. That's the plan right there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like, bando, yeah, we making bread, that's cool, or whatever, we surviving, but we trying to get into something else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, baby need a food truck, daddy needs some real estate, got goals, see the vision, little patience, and we straight, Drowning in bills, a nigga swimming, no. Block hotter than kettle pot. Calling me criminal from street blocks to cell blocks. Niggas is prisoners. They selling prison stocks, my nigga. This shit big business. I probably did more than 4 bars.
You got caught up in the momentum, but I get it. Like,
I mean,
that's the way it was written. It captivates and it keeps moving forward. But we'll give them all their proper respect. So we'll get back to that. But yeah, so you go trying to turn it to a plate, from a plate to a plate. That's a lot of plates. You might have to like break that down.
Yeah,
that's how we go from one plate to another plate.
Stash the profit in the safe.
So
it's basically just saying, in capitalism, you know what I mean? You're trying to flip something. You know what I mean? You start off with something small. You're trying to get it to something bigger. And if you're not just out tricking, and when I say tricking, like I'm not even like, I'm spending money on quote unquote women or whatever. But if you just not out here like, I made my little hustle bread. Now I'm gonna buy, this fancy buy these clothes, whatever. If you actually like, you got a plan on, you trying to get out and you trying to whatever. You like, I'm trying to turn this little quap, this little QP to a whole plate. Plate slang for pound, pardon me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like I'm trying to turn this small thing into something bigger. Fuck it, let's double it up. You know what I mean? From a plate to a plate.
Yeah.
Stash the profit in the safe, and then you thinking about what am I gonna do with this? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna
gotta watch it.
You know what I mean? And this is like I said, this is I'm speaking this like it's first person, but just to separate myself from the narrative of what's being said, like, it's just real life that's happening out here in these streets. Like cats are trying to figure things out, and let's say there was more opportunity, there's more resources. Let's say we weren't in capitalism. Let's say we were in socialism. People had a baseline, like, guaranteed, living. Like, they got places to live, they got food, they got whatever. Maybe this ain't something somebody would do. Somebody might be like, why am I about to put myself out here, maybe risk getting murked, maybe risk getting locked, selling, things to my people, all that, and be like, I can live, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we not in that. We in a cold, very cold, callous, system, capitalism that's like you either eating or you starving. You know what I mean? You either gonna figure a way to work out what you're gonna work out. Maybe it's a job for you. Maybe you don't want to wait as long as what a job brings you, and then you're gonna, you know what I mean? You just got to figure things out. So that's just what that's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it looks like, and everybody's included. Again, this woman is standing by your side. She's been through it apparently with you, and now you're taking into consideration that she needs something to, we can work on having something for her to build on and something for you to build on.
Right.
Food truck, real estate.
Exactly.
But just continuously to bring in, money into the situation through various forms that are a lot safer to handle than you being stuck in a bando, wondering if somebody's gonna come busting through that door.
Exactly.
Dope. I got goals, see the vision, a little patience, and we straight, drowning in bills. Okay, so that's more as like, you're trying to. It could get overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? With even when you find yourself on the right track, where now you're like you have enough to be able to move it around and afford certain things, but those bills don't end.
Yeah, I like how he did that where he's like drowning in bills and a nigga swimming though. Like I'm drowning in these, but I'm still treading water. I'm treading water. I'm here.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like how you put the words on it.
Another thing too, like there's times in writing raps, the way I came into it, sometimes it's just sobering. You know what I mean? Some cats like to do fantastical stories, or some cats just might have crazy adventures in their life. You know what I mean? Depending on what's normal to you, maybe this is like, wow, this is crazy. Where I'm from, this is kind of like middle of the ground. Like, all right, you out here, you doing something. You ain't talking about shoot out, hit the homie, took the bricks, ran over here on the plane. Like, it's very sobering, like working class hustler rap. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm just, reading this story or I'm watching this, it's like, this is very, I don't even say believable, very like a certain space. So when I'm like drowning in bills and niggas swimming though, like, when's the last time you heard like street hustler, whatever, talking about bills in a way that's like a reality? They like, nah, I'm making so much money, bills I ain't worried about. It's like, nah, the light bill might be, 3-4 sales that you gotta leave out at 2 a.m. So it's just a lot of, almost like not like preface the whole thing, but just like, this ain't power. This is more like, I don't even know the shows yet that
might capture something like, okay, no, this
like
is kinda,
Atlanta or something,
or like Weeds. Like, have you ever seen Weeds on Showtime? Where like Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, like the dude, like.
But Breaking Bad ended up like blowing up planes.
Yeah, but it got crazy. But the initial was like, it's one of those where it's like, yo,
he's a teacher.
The start is a modest pay. He has enough but then he finds himself in a situation where he's like, yo, I don't know if I'll be able to around and support my family.
Right.
So yeah, I see what you're saying. Where it's like, yeah, we could, it ain't like initially it wasn't like, yo, I am aiming to be New Mexico's kingpin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I am the one who knocks.
Yeah.
And if you look at like the first seasons was really the dope season to me. Like the whole show was amazing. Breaking Bad was amazing, but I find like the stuff that I like, you know what I mean? It's just more. Less fantastical, like just show me regular life. There's a lot of drama in regular life. You know what I mean?
There's enough going on to draw from those sources to be able to turn around. And
there's something in there, and because Hollywood is always trying to like sell you on like explosions and all this other stuff. Sometimes them tropes get, it's like the same thing. Like, all right, he gonna win at the end. He might do a bit, but they ain't gonna do this. Somebody gonna get killed. It's just like. Just what about, just like I said, sobering, like not nothing crazy.
Just crazy, yeah.
Just like, this was going on out here.
Then we get into let's wrap up the block hotter than the kettle. Pot calling me.
Okay, and then that's something that I do. I like to deal with micro, macro. Okay. So it's like personal experience, what I'm going through, and then but why we hear the macro, like, you know what I mean? It's a system that's involved here. You know what I mean? It ain't just in a vacuum, like you just hustling or whatever. So I go, from place to a place, that's the profit in the safe. Baby need a food truck, daddy needs some real estate. God goes see the vision, little patience and we straight. Drowning in bills, a nigga swimming, no block hotter than kettle pot, calling me criminal from street blocks to cell blocks. Niggas is prisoners, they selling prison stocks, my nigga, this shit big business. So once again, I probably went over on this job.
Yeah, no, but that works.
But the science is like, people like sub like pot calling me kettle, right? So it's kind of like the system is like you a criminal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cops like you the criminal. It's like
no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna approach the situation.
You on this side of the law. You doing these things that we deem is like wrong, and therefore you a criminal. But the system is the criminal. That's the crime. The crime that everybody don't have enough when the world got enough. The crime is there's empty buildings but there's homeless people. You know what I mean? The crime is, people from European descent are running the planet when most of the people on the planet aren't from European descent. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of little things. So it's just like pot calling me criminal from street blocks to cell blocks. Niggas is prisoners. They selling prison stocks, my nigga. This shit big business. So it's almost like, even though I'm in first person, maybe it's an OG that's like, you think it's sweet. You think like we in prison on the block from street blocks. When America's a prison. You know what I mean? From street blocks to cell blocks. We're in a prison. You know what I mean? They selling prison stocks, my nigga. This shit big business. Meaning like you telling me that they trading like prison stocks, like private, like I don't know if you
privately
know,
owned,
Yeah,
business,
privately owned prisons.
That they're if you're privately owned, that means that if it's part of your business, you have to make money off of that. And if money means occupying these cells, then you're gonna have to find a way to get those.
You know what I mean? There's politics behind the politics. You know what I mean? So when you get into all that, you're just like saying to yourself, like, this is a kind of dead end game. You know what I mean? Or this is a no-win situation. The best thing you could do is get out. You know what I mean? That's kind of like whether it's a self-reflection of, let's say, the person in this rap, myself, or however you want to look at it, looking in the mirror, or maybe an OG, just kind of like after all that, yeah, you trying to wiggle out of this shit. You got the plan, whatever. But it's just like, be careful, bro. Yeah. Like this thing is this. They lining you up.
Yeah.
If you make it out, that's great, but you might not make it out. And then real quick, just going into the hook, which is kind of where I started with it. I said, I forget.
Stripper paid the dealer.
Okay. Stripper paid the dealer. Dealer paid the plug. Plug paid the stripper. Stripper paid the club. Stripper paid the dealer. Dealer paid the plug. Plug paid the stripper, and the stripper paid the club. So I think I wrote the chorus first. Now that I think about it. And it was something I had separate. And it's just like, I read something about how the dollar doesn't stay in the black community longer than like 6 minutes. It's like, you know, we make money, whatever, we already, you know, spending it outside of our community. It's not going to be part of it. So the stripper paid the dealer. So it's like, I don't know why, it's just a stripper paid the dealer. Then the dealer got to pay his plug to get more work. But the plug, you know, he balling a little bit. He going to the stripper. He going to the strip club. He in the strip club. Stripper paid the dealer paid the plug paid the stripper. But at the end of the day, white man gets paid off of all of that. She got to pay the club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like it's basically, like I said, sober. And it ain't a happily ever after. We going to hustle and get rich and we won. You know what I mean? There's one Jay-Z to millions of cats that ain't Jay-Z. Like everybody ain't gonna end up like you won, but that's the narrative that gets put out there.
Yeah,
you know
it's like exposing a vicious cycle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
There's an ecology there, but ultimately, even within that ecology of the 3 or 4 characters, the 5th character, which is the club, is the one that walks away with all of it.
Yeah, I mean,
and
like,
have everybody else in there feeling like they're doing something, but it's
really
it's
like as a micro, that's, you know, we just talking about some hood street whatever. As a macro, the club is America or the powers that be or wherever you like. If you're in the UK, it's Great Britain. You know what I mean? But you know, we just you know, we kind of like rats in a maze, like Nas said.
Dope.
You know what I mean?
Dope, man.
Yo, man, let them know where they can keep in touch with you, where they can find you.
thesystemdon'twork.com. That's where we got. So we're Agiprop art brand, so it's not just music. We got, you know, clothing. I don't know if you can see it, but we got T-shirts, army jackets, a lot of repurposed military wear, workwear, all that. But it's the music. You want to cop vinyl? We selling vinyl because Spotify don't be paying a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. The System Don't Work on Instagram, all one word. The System Don't Work. Not doesn't work, it's don't work. Like, just you know what I mean? Our tagline is the system don't work, but we work. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So, yeah, you can find it on Instagram, myself, Nestagram, Nesta Gram. And, yeah, you know, I'll be on social media. TikTok, I think we got a System Don't Work TikTok.
Okay. Getting involved.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that, but, yeah, we out here.
True. Beleaf, we got another one.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but before it's all said and done, we got to get into the track.
Hell yeah, man.
Stripper Money, Ness.
Barcodes.
Y'all stay tuned for the track.
Yeah. 3 types of camel, late night at the bando, nigga strapped like a sandal, rubber grip on the handle, nigga glizzy, all safety, got shorty, think I'm barrel, got a chip on my shoulder, but baby, I got a plan, no, got this quap on the table, trying to turn it to a plate, from a plate to a plate, that's the profit in the safe, baby need a food truck, daddy needs some real estate, got goals, see the vision, little patience, then we straight, Drowning in bills, a nigga swimming, no block, hotter than kettle pot, calling me criminal from street blocks to cell blocks. Niggas is prisoners, they sellin' prison slots. My nigga, this shit be business. Stripper paid the dealer, dealer paid the plug.